All right, I believe we're live here on a nice, cool Monday evening, at least here on the Rando Time Zone coast. I'm Claire Mouse. Joined here with me is the one and only Adirondack Rick. Rick, are you ready to watch Tam and Orange duke it out in casual boots?
Well, yeah, I am absolutely ready to go ahead and see this. Now, one of the interesting things here is the fact that, this is a pretty heavy hitter. I mean, there's of the 16 runners to make it into the Casual Boots Invitational from all of the ladder races that took place in season 17. This is one of the ones that's like, holy cow, this is
Yeah,
a stacked
yeah.
runner after stacked runner after stacked runner after stacked runner.
The field for the top 16. I mean, anytime when you have, a pool such as, like ladder and then you cut it down to top 16, it's always going to be very, very competitive, right? But I mean, like, you absolutely said it. This, I think, is the most competitive yet. You just look at the list and you're just like, holy cow, I don't want to be anywhere near these people if I'm going to compete in any tournaments. And in terms of actually just like the cutoff, right? 100 races, top 16 make it in. Even before, I think some of the previous invitationals, like if you were at a +6 record, you're pretty much good to go. Like +7 is like icing on the cake, right? Orange, by the way, Orange got their 10 wins in, slid through the last spot, wasn't even like the last like +6 person, right? Made the cutoff with 1697. From
Yeah,
1698. It was ridiculous,
Yeah,
right?
and that's exactly what you're getting at there is the fact that +6 was not safe. Like we were just watching
Yeah,
the
uh-huh.
the updates from Big Duncan throughout the entire process. It's like sixes are going to have to be a little scary. Oh my goodness. You might not get in.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and I would say like Orange certainly was probably very one of the more fortunate people because they only had minimum 10 races, but some people, especially towards the end, really scrambling trying to get that last race in just so they can try and secure their spot, right? But
this on top of trying to qualify for the main tournament
oh
and then
yeah,
doing
yeah,
various
that's
other
true.
things
Mhm.
on top of that. And let's go ahead and just bring up the other two that are in this group besides Tam and Orange. We got P Train and Gem, and interestingly
Did you
enough, a Gem will not be moving on out of this group.
You are correct. I mean, you talk about heavy hitter after heavy hitter, right? So P Train and Gem are absolutely no lightweights. This is in fact the third race of this Group A, so two of them are going to advance. And as you rightfully have mentioned, in this case, Gem had actually played. In this case, P Train and Orange. Orange taking a very fortunate win off of Gem. I mean, any victory I think within groups is going to be pretty valuable, but that's definitely one you can take. You can feel very proud of
Yeah,
in this
and
case.
And Orange was telling me in regards to the win over Gem that was overnight, one of the nights there. I think it was Saturday night into Sunday that Gem was
4
just getting
4 a.m.
into go mode.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is sometimes there's some cursed spots for certain runners just based on how aggressive their style is. Orange certainly has demonstrated that thoroughness really does pay off. Left side swamp strikes again,
Oh yeah.
having bombos over there for required medallion. By the way, talk about some of the nice things we've got here in this seed. We have a hook shot and flippers, and as our first two items of the game. Talking about left side swamp, Rick, or is that where we're going? As soon as we hit Dark World?
Well, I might have a feeling that Tam might be thinking about that. I mean, you watch what happens in these runs here, you start to think, okay, I'm probably going to need to start just remembering to do certain things, or maybe I'll need to meta things. I don't know. Maybe Gold can't strike twice, and Orange checks left side swamp, and Tam doesn't. Who knows? That's exactly what we'll end up doing
who
here.
knows? Yeah. So I don't know how much of this of a meme this is, but so Gem and Tam have actually joked with each other that they route actually very similarly. So whether or not that's actually true, I don't actually know. But maybe Orange is metagaming a little bit, giving his victory over Gem at 4 a.m. The a few nights before. Maybe this is gonna be a good omen, for Orange as we're coming out of escape here.
I mean, this is Escape. There's really nothing much to bring here. This is 5.25 minutes of pretty much just go to the princess, save her, bring her back to the sanctuary. We've been here. We've done this numerous times.
This
And
time with a sword.
this
Unlike the
time,
main tournament, where we may or may not have a sword.
my favorite one is the bomb escape.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I think all of our items, minus that map that we had gotten in the map chest. So our order has been flippers, hook shot,
so
map, heart container, ice rod, brick. What else are we getting here in front of escape?
well, we're getting nothing here at the front of escape.
Oh, nothing else. That's right. Okay, what are we gonna get in the back of escape?
That's going to be a good question. I think we'll probably find the Canis and Maria and the mirror back there. So
Perfect.
obviously, Dark Cross is going to be a guaranteed key at this stage. That's why we're brushing off the front of the escape aspect at this point. Because yeah, we've got the next 2 minutes to go ahead and talk. I mean, we've already talked enough about this group. Orange versus Tam. Tam running the MSU package from Super Mario 64. That's just nothing but this song, I think.
Really? That's hilarious. Actually, if that's actually true, at least this is a pretty happy track. But I'm certainly looking forward to what we're gonna get outside of once we get to the overworld. That's gonna be hilarious.
I mean, if we get this throughout the entire race, I'm gonna pretty much say Duncan switch the music over ASAP. But for now, we'll just keep it on Tam.
Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna get a little energized. Some people may think that the standard start, especially with the sword, as you mentioned, we've done numerous times. So maybe you could use a little sprucing up, in terms of freshness, right?
Orange finding out he can't really spin speed and then expect to push the mantle.
Yeah, that is something that I believe some people found out the hard way. We are gonna load, yeah, but just like with a couple extra hook shots, though, Tam's actually managed to kind of catch up here with Orange.
Yeah, Orange misfired on his hook shot attempts there, which allowed Tam to catch right back up. Otherwise, Orange has been pretty much the leader through this, even with the second that this stream is not synced up at this point. Anyways, back 3 of escape. Here we go. Come on, Canis and Maria, mirror. Come on. You know you want to game. Give us the Canis, Maria, and mirror.
If only we had the mirror earlier, we could have skipped 2 minutes.
No.
Piece of art.
Move,
Pearl.
Okay.
All right. Well, we also have Kakariko money as well. We got with enough stuff in the village. We can also pay off Bottle Blender if they really want to. They can also buy bombs if they so choose to. But it looks like they're actually going to be pretty set. I don't really know what I guess like Tam and Orange maybe typically do in a casual booth seat, but I certainly would expect something pretty common as to we're going to go to Lost Woods and in Kakariko.
Both runners done with their escape at 5 minutes and 10 seconds, gets their 20 rupees here, and Orange narrowly out of the escape area, although again, that second delay, map check, and I see 3, and okay, Blue Pendant Desert.
It was a desert pendant. Okay, gotcha.
I think we had a red crystal up at Hera.
Yeah, thanks to Dunka's amazing and efficient and very silent bots, we actually already have all of the crystal knowledge on Orange's side already updated for us.
All right, what do we...
Hello, Orange! Hello! Hey, Magdo. So we are actually going to get a little bit of a divergence. Tam's going to give us a little check at the rupee crab. We are going to get small magic, actually potentially worthwhile. Speaking of though, oh my gosh, we have a bow. We're going to look like we're going to go with Eastern Palace. I completely missed was on Lumberjack, by the way. Did you end up checking anything?
Just a single rupee.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm guessing that Tam probably won't need it, but I guess you never know. With these things.
Big Dunka, we got all sliders here.
I believe Tam did mention something with the possibility of using a silly MSU in the race room. Ooh, look at that! Look at Tam, Tam 216 skip. or whatever the emote is called. Very, very apt. This
All I
particular
remember
case.
from Tam's emotes is the one that just has "I'm bad" on 2 different lines.
Yeah, I'm bad. There's also indecision on Tam's part, picking between which potions they want. Probably more relevant in in glitch modes. Oh my gosh, it's pretty funny. All right, we do have a couple arrows here, at least, very nice to be able to have that bow. I was also gonna say, so there with the also addition with the rupee crab magic drop, if we end up finding powdered hammer here, or some sort of magical weapon, Tam's actually gonna have a little bit of an advantage to be able to use it just a little bit more in their arsenal.
Alright, so Orange getting spin speed off the door to blind hut there, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, always really nice to be able to see this hook speed. Oh my gosh! Speaking of though, we have a master sword already. Offense looks pretty nice so far. Maybe we'll even get tempered here before we go over to Eastern Palace.
Get some bombs, get some rupees.
Yeah, we got some nice set of resources. No real worry so far. They're probably not also going to be too concerned about Zora money at the time, but definitely going to be able to pay off this bottle vendor. And with that bow, who needs a lamp? By the way, they're going to definitely be able to clear out Eastern Palace. No questions asked.
Maybe we'll get the fire rod so that way we can put it in logic.
Possibly, yeah, that would be good. Oh
Yeah,
my
Magic
gosh,
found
so,
over here the chicken coop.
whoever needs to pick up that pot and escape, who needs to go farm bush crabs for magic? We'll just go find half magic here in Chicken Hut.
This game is way too free at this point.
Yeah. And plus, I am eyeing that ice rod, so we can potentially end up having a couple ice rod shots or fire, as well.
Alright, what do we have on the library shelf?
Hopefully something good. Glove? Money that Orange is going to turn up his... Never mind, Orange is going straight back to get this 50 rupees. that was quite the fake out for her.
Orange probably deciding I'm probably going to need that at some point in time, so it might be a good idea for me to go ahead and grab it. Tam has decided not to pick up the money, and there's another 50 right there, although Orange has decided that spending the 15 or so seconds to grab, that is not going to be beneficial to him. Tam taking a look at the map, getting the information. There's the information right there. Let's head down to the mini mole dorm as well as the dam.
Yeah, it looks like Orange is not going to go quite over to Eastern Palace, although it looks
Tam
like
is.
Tam is. We're going to get a little bit of divergence. Potentially, Tam has, 3 items here in addition to Saha. And of course, it's going to be a crystal. Maybe going to get a little bit more resources, right? Money or something like that for the Zora area in South Shore versus I think Orange is just going to go over. Maybe they'll get, on the flip side, maybe we'll get like a fire rod or something to make Eastern Palace a little bit nicer.
All right, back to Sahasrahla contains
we have a tempered sword. Game is ultra playable in casual boots at this point.
It's way too
super, yeah, half magic, tempered sword. I mean, who? Super comfy at 10 minutes. Yeah, and talk about, we also have a good number of, we have the ice rod with us already, so, at least no more ice rod hunt, unless, of course, somehow we forget that it's actually in our inventory, which has happened before, for the record, but hopefully it's not going to plague either one of these runners today.
Oh, goody. The slide has altered ever so slightly here in Eastern.
It's a different kind of slide,
slightly.
It's you got water slides, you got rainbow slides, you got plastic slides. What else? What other kind of slides are there? We got you got White Castle sliders. Those are the little mini burgers, right?
I currently live in a region that does not have White Castle, so
Wait, really?
You can bring up that reference all you want, and I would have no clue on what exactly a White castle slider is.
No
By the way,
way.
Orange did get the rupees needed for Zora money at this stage.
Yeah, yeah, it's right. That's we probably should be talking about the actual game, huh? Yeah, that looks like actually the stun prize with the hook shot is 20 rupees. So money certainly was not an issue. With the 300 that you found in Mini Moldorm Cave is certainly quite convenient. So also not going to be too big of a worry if you know, when we're eventually going to go to the Dark World, we need like pod money, chess game money, you know, lots and lots of enemies in order. Well, it's just like it's literally seeing like dollar signs, you know, in your eyes, right? Every single time you come across an enemy.
Yep. I'm still waiting for this item that will make Eastern logical.
Well, you know, the lamp is known to be quite elusive at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, looks like it's gonna elude us just a little bit further. Tam
I
is no fear.
I mean, the thing is that these runners can do Eastern without a light source. But logically, you still need to have some sort of light source to get those torches lit.
True, true. I don't know if we're gonna really see that here on Hamza, and only because we're not gonna find a lamp before we go see the torches.
I mean, we're not in a
We're also
lit room there, so there you go.
True. Yes.
There's our lamp.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of the lamp, all right. So Orange, once he comes over to Eastern Palace, he is going to give us a full, clear picture of what this dungeon actually looks like. We have found the companion rupee, by the way, in the Eastern Vanilla Big Key chest. So I believe so far the actual cash prize money of Eastern Palace has been 21 rupees so far. Is that right?
I think you're right.
Very paltry Eastern Palace so far. We just see some amount of money on Zora Ledge. I would imagine that Orange is probably not going to pick it up at this point, unless it was a 300 and I just missed it.
It looked like a 50.
Yeah, okay, well then that's certainly probably not within Orange's interest.
So how many items have we found in Eastern?
I want to say just 2. I thought it was map compass.
Oh, by the way.
Big key. Oh, wait, where's Orange? Is Orange going to Aga?
Aga. He's seen the signs. You got the flippers, you've got the hook shot, you've got the lamp, and you've got Master Sword.
He's got the hook shot. This is the most important item of all items for Aga Tower. I certainly hope, based on how many hook speeds we've seen from Orange, I certainly hope that he tries to make an attempt into the Aga Hall of Fame in order to get as far up near the torches as he possibly can.
Powder?
Ooh,
okay, well that's interesting. We can't do anything with that powder except for powder anti-fairies at this point.
True, true. Looks like actually Orange being actually a bit more resource conscious, potentially when he goes over to the Dark World, already kind of farming up some of these enemies, potentially for pod money. Don't really ever want to be kind of in a position where you're, in this case, too poor in order to enter anywhere. It doesn't have the entry fee.
I mean, when your stun prize is 20 rupees, all you need to do is just kill another 3 more enemies, and you've got all the money you need for the trip into the Palace of Darkness.
Yeah. Yeah, and certainly, you know, as you mentioned, so we have a bunch of very Aga-friendly / required equipment, right? You mentioned Master Sword on Orange's side, of course, we know we've tempered on Tam's side, got the lamp, and most importantly, we also do not have anything else besides that pearl. No glove, no hammer.
And that's the other thing, is that you have your post-Aga play here with your flippers and your hook shots. So
oh yeah, that's right. We can actually go all the way north into, you know, Village of Outcasts, Skull Woods, which may or may not be a fan favorite, but of course we are not in Ladderland. We are in, you know, Saha land, Saha Bot land, so may or may not have any value here. But notably,
this also could be just Orange trying to make a kind of a play where, okay, Tam's going to go to Eastern immediately, so if I get something over here on the pyramid, or if I get something on the West Dark World, then guess what? This is going to be a winning play for me, and maybe this is what will lead me to win. I mean, this competition here at this stage, you're talking about the 16 runners who had the highest ELO scores at the end of the ladder season, so maybe that's what Orange feels he needs to do in order to get ahead of the competition.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly, as you said, you know, during qualifiers, you know, it kind of the quality of your competition, you know, certainly could be, you know, a bit more high variance depending on when you raced. Nice attempt, Orange. I do appreciate that you make an entry into the Ag Hall of Fame here. But yeah, like the qualifiers kind of depending maybe like your time zone, you know, who decides to end up joining that race. Maybe you can take things a little bit easier. But yeah, when you're facing against somebody like Tam, you may feel like you need to make a play. Very, very true.
And this also could be something that winds up paying off. Like, we know at this point that this is a very likely going to pay out for Orange because outside of that magic powder, and there's nothing you can do with that magic powder logically as far as progression's concerned, we haven't seen anything that has struck the needle towards not having to go to Ag at this point. So it looks like Orange could be on the right path.
Yeah, and especially what do we have left that's in Light World that's not Aga, right? We have Akina. Like, is that it? Really?
That's it.
Yeah. So no hammer. No, you know. So we do not currently have the ability to stuff more than one item besides the sword and shield into one item spot. So you know, no hammer, no glove means that looks like Orange has actually made the right decision.
Right, and of course
Right
Orange doesn't
decision.
know that because for all he knows, Eastern could be the answer with that early bow. Just we know based on what we saw from Tam inside of Eastern that Orange could be on the right direction here. Again, Agita could very well have a glove. That just means you got to go up to the mountain and there's your progression up there.
Hey, what about a hammer? And we can go to Magic Bad.
Yay.
I think that might be fun. But that's kind of like but Agita is unfortunately not one of those often visited locations. So chances are if something is there,
Green pendant. Palace of Darkness.
All right. Well, you know, there is nothing ever. You know, there's always something in Pendant Pod, right? That's one of the adages of this game.
Now, Orange making the play over here to the Palace of Darkness, this one feels a little more interesting to me because you would love to get that mirror in order to be able to lump this together with Eastern Palace. So if Orange strikes gold and comes up with a mirror here in this Palace of Darkness, then we're going to take a look at this and be like, this is what they call Galaxy Brain.
Yeah, Orange certainly has had things quite work out well for him. Unfortunately, no immediate Tempered Sword, right? Because we did see Tam picked up Tempered Sword at Saha, which of course is in the Light World. But as you said, in this case, if we can get a mirror, it'll be very efficient for Orange.
And
it
that was a 300 on the edge.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, yeah. So it looks like Tam is willing to take a little bit of extra time to invest, and now Tam is actually set for the rest of the game financially. You know, doesn't have to. Yeah, Tam maybe was more influenced by how uncooperative the Zoras were in trying to basically get their 20 rupees out one by one, so just figured it would be much faster in order to get the 300 off the lunch.
P.S. We have an immediate bow block here inside of this Palace of Darkness.
Okay, alright.
So Tam is now going up to the Aga play, and I never really counted how many blue balls we had from that Aga.
It felt like did it feel like a lot? Every single time I looked over, it was another one. So,
I just was not paying attention. I really wasn't paying attention. It was more just to do with the fact that we were just more speculating about why Orange was making this play.
Yeah, my guess was maybe 2 or 3, 4-ish. But I guess we're gonna see in this case, you know, Orange is certainly has taken a very, as you said, you know, very aggressive route from Orange's perspective, right? Looks like in this case we think it's most likely the right location, you know, the right decision. But for how much Orange has skipped so far, certainly not as clear from his perspective.
All right, there's our 2 non-key, small key items here inside of this Palace of Darkness, as Orange is going to have to set up a Death Warp at this point, get back over to the start.
Yeah, unfortunately no mirror as one of the non-key items, which would make, of course, Pod a little bit nicer. Well, by little I mean a lot nicer in terms of routing. But until then, good thing we only have, well, the original, you know, red tunic, I guess, for Freya, and what, only like 6 hearts? It's practically NMG level health.
7.
7, yeah, practically. Alright, but of course, yes, as you mentioned, we've already got our 2 non-key items, so everything else is going to be in the front. It's going to be a small key, and we're just going to hope in this case that Pod is, the back of Pod's going to have something good.
Well, we know how Pod works.
Yes. Everything here is going to be the back, may or may not be actually useful.
Red
Like
rupee
that,
item number
like
one.
rupee. Meanwhile, yep, Tam is still making their way up to Aga Tower. Red rupee number 2. Cool, cool.
I don't know how cool that is, though.
Yeah, that's also very true. You know, we could have actually just stunned a bunch of enemies, you know, and gotten probably more money. Oh, Tam. Wait, no one saw anything. Everyone, focus on Orange's screen. Tam is doing, yeah, Tam's gonna go to Aga real soon, okay?
All right, over here on the left side, 50
We
rupees.
got
So far
50,
we've had
yep.
90 rupees for our 110 rupee admission, plus what we got in the basement.
Yeah, you know, well, to be fair, right? Like Eastern only had 21 rupees, so this pod has already been an upgrade, from the light world version of the dungeon.
Final item. Just a heart piece,
Heart
so
piece.
Palace of Darkness coming up empty.
Yeah, a couple of extra dollars, I guess, for Orange. Certainly won't complain about when we're only going over to the Village of Outcasts, but yeah, really nothing else to kind of write home about.
And we'll see what Tam ends up doing over here. And we cannot fault both of these runners for their routing decisions at this point. I mean, they're clearly decent runners at this game. In the main tournament, they're both first quartiles, so...
Yeah, considering Tam, I can't remember what their exact score is, but
just tenth the off humbugs number one.
Okay, was it only a 10th? Yeah, I remember the score being ridiculously high, and yeah, somehow only a number 2 seed.
Yeah,
I mean,
only just a few tenths away.
That is ridiculous.
Both of these runners are first quartiles in the tournament, so. Tam finishing off with the Aga play as Orange now heads over, and I am going to speculate. First, we're getting a check over here at the ledge, the lumberjack, or not the lumberjack, the bumper ledge, and that turns out to be more of what we just found in the Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, eventually you would think that we would just run out of 20 rupees at some point, but it seems like there is an infinite number.
Unfortunately for Tam, we are going in the same direction as Orange just did, so Tam's about to give any advantage that he could have, or they could have picked up from not going into the Palace of Darkness. Sadly, it's going to go back to Orange.
I mean, it's hard to resist independent pod, after Aga, and it's kind of disappointing that after we've seen basically Orange do all of that.
Yeah,
but at least it's gonna even things out.
And I can totally understand the play. I mean, I probably would make the same play too if I saw that Palace of Darkness was a pendant coming out of Aga.
Yeah, and especially in this case, right? You can, in this case, make your way all the way over to the Village of Outcasts, but then again, pod, we're up to what, 5 items, and if we end up finding a hammer in here, right? That is gonna be pretty dang nice.
I mean, like I said, in regards to Orange, if you found the mirror, that would have been absolutely golden.
Oh, yeah.
Tam would not mind that mirror either. I mean, we could find a glove that allows you to get over to Catfish or get you easier access to things.
I don't know if going to Catfish is a high incentive, for either of either Tam or... But I understand your sentiment.
Yeah.
Alright, so far though, we are here in Skullwoods, hoping in this case that we're going to get some more value out of Skullwoods than Palace of Darkness. Palace of Darkness had 5 shots, only giving us 4 available items. Skullwoods has, up to 2 shots. We've already found 20 rupees. What are we going to be able to get in the front without the fire rod? We're gonna delay our discoveries just ever so slightly when Orange Death Warps and searches the big chest.
So we've seen 1 item inside of the Skull Woods and 20 rupees. Can we find the second one here, or is it going to be Fire Rod blocked?
Is the Fire Rod? So close.
Nope, it is Fire Rod blocked, the second item inside of Skull Woods, but Orange is going to take that information and go right back to the Village of Outcast over towards Thieves Town.
Yeah, and certainly, right now, even though Tam is a little bit, just quote unquote behind, in terms of searching Dark World, right? From their perspective, they are up a tempered sword over Orange. That was in the back of Saha in the Light World. While it's probably not going to be too much of a difference, just in terms of speed, it is going to be a sort
Hey,
of difference that Orange is going to miss. We found our boots, by the way.
speaking of speed, there's the boots
Yeah,
over there with that green 20 instead of the sea house.
I miss lazy kids ladder generated seeds. I miss seeing the boots. Please bring them back. Okay. Help.
Don't worry, we still have many more casual boots that we can get inside of the ladder.
True, true.
And shoutouts to the ladder for having two entrance modes this season with both the
True,
traditional
true.
keys and the retrance as
And
well.
yeah, you get a little bit of extra
Which
padding
is
time as well.
the grab bag, which is all 5 of the tournament modes.
Yeah, Dunga is a very accommodating person, having, but he's got spoiler this season as well. Made,
Yeah.
ones of people super happy this season. Mhm.
I think I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah, I see both of them in chat.
I think there's one more. I don't think I said the other one that's
Oh,
super
that
happy.
is true. That is true. Speaking of Zelda, his 216 podcast episode is also out today. But yes.
Yep, and he'll be in the main tournament tomorrow evening as well.
Mhm. Yeah, lots of random going on.
Anyways,
We're very,
oh
very happy.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, all right. So Tam is gonna finish their disappointing venture into pod as well. But of course, we have also seen Orange experience the exact same disappointment. So at least is equal on both sides, right? Commiserate in the same misery, I guess.
How many items did we see in this first section? I want to say
I
we saw
have,
2.
I have no idea. That's a good question. I think we saw the compass. We have a small
Yes.
key, so
Yes. So, answering a question in chat in regards to the group situation, Orange has a 1-0 record, has defeated Gem, and Gem also lost to P-Train, so therefore Gem at an 0-2 is already eliminated from being able to move on in this group.
yeah, very valuable win that Orange is taking. And there have only been two group matches played in Group A, so this is certainly the third one. And Orange, I believe, is certainly very hopeful to be able to pull out a win here over Tam.
And
2-0, yeah.
And I do know that Orange is racing P-Train tomorrow night, and I believe that one is also at the same time of 8 o'clock Eastern. So that will
Okay,
wrap
okay.
up Orange's matches, and I believe that is the second for P-Train.
Sounds good. Yes, we can look at the schedule. I think towards the end. Oh, Orange, please do not die up here. It would be very, very unfortunate if you ended up dying up here. It's kind of scary, by the way. Being up here only on Master Sword. I would feel a lot better if Orange had a Tempered Sword. Just because in this case, pretty much everything dies. Also, by the way, having that powder that Tam picked up on Armos would also be pretty helpful.
Yeah, you notice that Orange is taking it a little more gingerly to that room than he would have had he be sitting with 3 hearts at this stage.
Yeah. The movement and confidence sometimes you see in this case runners have the difference between Oko and not Oko can be quite substantial. Good on Orange, by the way, to remember, didn't even have to lift the rock. They knew, or he knew, that we do not have a club.
Yeah, that would be a lift of shame at that point.
Mhm.
And we've been there, we've all done it. Lift
Yes,
up the rock.
yeah. Mhm.
Oh, right, I don't... Oh!
Orange definitely got sniped back there. Oh my gosh, that was so scary. Heart? No. Okay.
Oh,
well,
no. Okay. There is an item in the big chest.
Okay. Oh, because that was the map, right?
That was
okay,
the map.
okay.
We've already seen the
Mhm.
compass, and we have the small key.
Oh my gosh, Orange. Okay, all right. Orange is non-money game mode. Pretty much. Okay, so long as he stays on script, he will be absolutely fine. Everybody.
And he can pick up
pray
a...
for Orange. Just like that one.
Before he goes to blind. Oh, and
Did he
he's not
already-
even picking up the heart.
Did he already
Okay.
pick it up earlier though? When he got the small key? I don't remember how much health he came in with.
All right, well,
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. You know, we just follow the script. The script does not have any damage planned, and if he even does a little bit of damage and goes a little bit off script, he still has one hit on him, so it's okay. We believe. See,
Perfect.
easy, easy, easy. Nothing. Nobody was ever worried about Orange's health situation or life or
There's our protection. There's our
Thanks.
protection.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we got half magic. Anything to use that half magic for? Okay, yeah. Why don't you find out after the boss? Gotcha. Yes. Talithar, they discount bumper. It was a 20 rupees.
It was a whole bunch of what we got inside of the Palace of
Mhm.
Darkness. Nothing's consequential.
And Skullwoods, for the record.
You're right. You're right.
You know, I gotta bring up Skullwoods as often as I can. You know, for these situations.
I mean, what would be nice is if we could find out what our next progression stage is.
Yeah. I mean, imagine fighting something that would actually give us more access to the rest of the game.
Like, we're getting to the point where we're down to 6 remaining locations after this, or rather 7.
7 items, 7 locations. So where do we have this? So we are gonna make our way over to Hype Cave at least. You know, that's a good 5.
Yep, that's the 5 inside of Hype Cave, and then there's the flute, so that's the mountain. Okay, so that opens up a lot more of this game right there. So we got Stumpy as one, we've got Agina as the other.
Oh, right. Good reminder, Kita. We're gonna just hope. You know what? Okay, it's probably 20 rupees. Given everything that we've seen so far, you know, that every other chest has, it's probably just 20 rupees. You certainly wouldn't feel bad or anything, right? If you had, you know, like the hammer there or something.
Our container found right there, and Orange making way over to Hype Cave. This will be the last check, and then of course we're gonna activate that flute.
Yeah, and then we're finally gonna be able to up the mountain. As you mentioned, you know, we've got hook shot, so we can certainly at least go over to Paradox, and hopefully we're gonna find something better, new, you know, mirror, hammer, mitts, you know, something. Give us a little bit more access. Fire rod so we can finish Skullwoods, you know, all good.
That's vanilla.
It is, actually. That's very true. Oh,
There's a
look at
glove.
that. We have a glove. Okay.
And we have access
We got
to
a
Sick Kid,
bottle,
so now we can do
yeah.
2 things inside of the Kakariko village.
Yeah, that's actually it's actually a good observation. Is that this is very convenient bottle pickup right Hype Cave. We are going to be able to do 2 things now. I see we have switched audio sources. You said this is Gradius?
Yeah, he's been using the Professor Renderer pack there for Gradius a lot lately, and therefore we're going to go ahead and switch over to this as Orange gets ready to activate the flute. Here we go. If only they could randomize this song.
Yeah. A little cute little jingle from something that you can put in.
Where's the MSU source that can allow you to change the flute tone?
I don't know actually. I've never actually dabbled in MSU stuff, so maybe somebody in chat knows better.
They can't at this point. It's a sound effect versus actual music tone.
I see.
It is a good beat in case we wanted to use that. And it's a Quake
Ooh.
medallion on Sick Kid.
We certainly do know that both Meyer and Turtle Rock are crystals, so potentially necessary.
Meanwhile, Orange is going to Eastern. So this is what's going to make up the difference here, is that we're going to finally see that time that Tam spent in Eastern. Orange is going to spend that time now. So we're going to have a better indication on where we stand in this race when we get to that point.
Yeah, so finally with the flute, Orange is willing to spend some more time here in the light world, probably just covering, hedging his bets at this point, right? Because, you know, as you mentioned before, Orange, even with the early bow, decided to completely skip out on the Eastern Palace Saha area, with, you know, a very aggressive move into doing an early Aga. At least, you know, it looks like so far it's been the correct one, but, you know, if something is here, Orange probably doesn't want to leave it for too long, right?
Well,
Before.
especially considering the fact that you've already have done the Palace of Darkness. So this is your idea of, I want to get this done now that I'm getting ready to go up to the mountain. Because if, like for instance, in his mind, if the hammer's here, if the mirror's here, then he can lump this check together with the Tower of Hera.
Ah, true, and it is a 5/6 crystal, right? So that actually could be another piece of Pigment Fairy in
Yeah.
logic as well.
So this could be a consideration here where I want to make sure that at least I take care of this and I take care of Sahashala before I go up to the mountain. But again, this is where we're going to find out because once Tam gets the flute activated, the routes will have merged, at least for now, because obviously the next stage of progression is up on the mountain.
Or Gina maybe? Yeah.
I mean, Agina is now just a quick flute to 6.
Yeah. And it's still kind of like a one-off, right? Maybe you want to go over there, with the mitts and the mirror. Maybe you want to go over there with the book, right? Trying to combine things a bit with
Well,
Desert.
yeah.
Yeah, but yes. But
it's
yeah,
a
but I
lot-
certainly
But it is easier to get there now.
true. Oh, very, very true. Catfish doesn't count as progression because nobody ever goes to Catfish.
Actually,
This is what I've
I
learned.
I take that back. I don't think Orange is playing with Gradius today. I think he's actually playing with his latest creation, which is
Oh, yeah?
that Pizza Tower game.
Sorry, what game? Pizzy Tower?
The Pizza Tower
Oh,
game.
Pizza Tower. Oh, I've seen that game. It's actually kind of funny.
Because I was listening here, I was listening deep to this track. This is definitely not Gradius.
Sounds good. That's right. So Orange is also here with the lamp, unlike Tam. Who, by the way, I mean, still made it through these dark rooms, absolutely no problems. But of course, with the lamp, Orange is just able to literally run through them.
I mean, most people that are watching this are people who have experience doing dark rooms inside of Eastern,
True.
but it just really comes down to when you're doing the dark room in Eastern, you want to get that knowledge of where the right Igor is, so that way you can at least track down when it's moving towards you, and that way you can get that key.
By the way, shoutouts to Tam having exactly the right number of bombs you needed for High Cave, which is 2. Good
Yeah,
thing they didn't miss.
One thing does worry me though.
What is that, Rick?
Hopefully he will get, or hopefully they will get, Tam in this case, hopefully Tam will get bombs if we're going up the mountain, because as I have found out during a McBoss qualifier race, it's a real bad feeling when you drop down into Paradox and you realize your bomb count's 0.
Please tell me more, Rick. Was this a personal experience that you had?
Let's just say that I've left behind what would be a tempered sword because I didn't have any bombs for Paradox Cave.
That is a real sad story, Rick. I'm sorry you had to endure that. Let us hope that, as you said, Tam and Orange do not have to go through this.
Yes. That's why I'm hoping Tam, they will realize that their current count is 0. All right, so now the routes have pretty much have synced up. Once Tam comes out with his Quake, we are pretty much on even terms. And look at this, we're just seconds apart from each other. Tam is purchasing some bombs.
Yeah, very, very good call on Tam's part. As you said, it is certainly worth the extra, 15 whatever seconds it is to go pick them up. And for the record, there is a shop inside Paradox, and you can go purchase more bombs, but you need at least 1 bomb to get there. So.
Yes, and that's the problem if you go in there with 0 bombs. If you have 1, you can at least use the bomb to open up that wall, providing you don't miss.
Yes. Yeah. And, there's nothing really here up on the mountain that's going to help them potentially with bomb drops. The dead rocks are never your friend. They're just never going to have anything. We do have a second potion, for what it's worth. Coupled with that half magic, I think our ice rod or our lamp is going to get quite the workout.
10 arrows up there. So right now, everything all considered. Well, there's bombs right there. Of course there are.
Oh, of course, all right. Yeah,
So
but
Tam if Tam did not buy those bombs, if they did not buy those bombs, there would have been 0 there. The game knows.
True, I know. Yeah, that's true. I guess for what it's worth, Tam could have tried to farm some 50-50 bombs, from those rocks, right outside Paradox. But you got a lot of boulders there, and you probably don't want to spend any more time here on Death Mountain than you need to.
Yeah, dealing with the dead rocks and the concussion-filled cabbages.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a fun time.
You're only ever in that screen if you're trying to lose all your health to try and hover over to East Death Mountain. And
So
Fairy
there's
like, we
our
found a hammer.
access.
Amazing. So finally, after all of this, like 40 some minutes, we finally found our normal traditional Dark World access. Fun.
Are you surprised?
I am. You know, after how much rando I've watched. Yes, I am, Rick.
How are you surprised? I mean,
I have a very short-term memory. I don't remember any.
Clear Mouse, with all the rando that you have watched, you should be at this point. Nothing surprises you anymore.
What if I just only remember the last 15 seconds of what's happened in every seed?
Okay, in that case, what happened 5 minutes ago?
That's you know what? I'm gonna have to rewind the tape and look at the tracker. That's how I remember everything.
I'll give you that.
Oh, there's another 50 rupees on. Oh, nice bonk on Orange's side, by the way. That is really nice.
Planned, but it worked. That was not planned.
It looked cool though, right?
Oh yeah, it did.
Alright, as you said, we have exhausted all of Paradox. We finally got a hammer, and that means our hammer, of course, is our dark Para access. Alright,
It also means that now we can check the magic bat in case he decides he wants to give us something good.
Yeah, and we can find them. Man, so what else does this hammer open up for us? Besides, you know, like the normal Dark World portals.
That's about it.
Well, that's
except for the item that's on Helmastar. And we don't want to think about that.
Yeah, that's also true. Oh, Orange, also being pretty conscious of his lack of a playable mirror situation. Already taking some damage here from the tiles.
And Tam going down to the basement as well. And chat hoping for the Agina glove. You know what? That would be hilarious. But
from
both of these
our
runners,
perspective.
both of these runners would panic. They would freak out if Agina had a glove.
You remember that story you told us like like 5 minutes ago, where you felt real bad because you didn't have any bombs in Paradox? I kind of don't really want to have some similar feeling, you know, befallen upon these two runners if they find a glove at Agina. I think it would be pretty hilarious from our perspective because we're the ones watching the seed, right? But I think, yeah, as you mentioned, if they're playing, they may not feel the greatest.
I mean, it's rando.
It is random.
Is there really a moment? Is there really a moment when you feel good about your life choices in rando?
Okay, that's also very fair.
Or
I don't think I've ever heard a runner say, like, even after the race, like, yeah, you know what, I felt real good about this decision, right? Or I felt real good during the race. It's always, I cannot believe this is my last location, and I've only now found the glove.
You've been watching Zelda too much.
Maybe. Alright,
Alright, of course, like clockwork, the last item's gonna be on Moldorm.
We got a nice compass with the test.
Oh,
yes.
There's another thing I remember that hammer does.
Oh no.
Nice bumper.
What is that, Rick? Before, you know, while we look at Tam's screen.
Spike cave.
Oh,
we got the cave off blind. We have half magic.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
We're gonna continue looking
into the lead.
We're gonna go continue watching Tam's screen. That's actually a really good point though. And yeah, we have half magic and we have we have a bottle and we have the cape. So we can like, you know, we can crawl our way over to the end of the chest if we really want to. Orange is taking 0 chances with Moldon being knocked off.
Considering what just happened to Orange,
I fully understand.
With that bumper twice. Definitely doesn't want to take any chances there. Tam with the lead on crystal number 3 of this seed. All right.
You know, yeah, making decent progress. Again, I don't know how great they feel in this particular case because they've actually done quite a bit with very little, I mean, you know, relatively little to show, but looks like actually Tam is going to go visit Spiral Cave. What is Orange going to do? Ooh, Orange is taking
Cave versus Spiral Cave. This is a divergence of epic proportions.
Maybe Orange and Tam right after this would just immediately swap places. But it is going to be quite cool to see what is in both of these caves.
Boomerang in Spiral Cave.
And
10 bombs. Both Not necessary.
It's one of those times where at least nobody wins. I guess that's the upside of all this, you
And
know?
Tam's second spike.
Ah, yeah, alright,
And
looks like the
Orange is
orange,
not
yep,
checking
orange
spiral.
is saying no. We are gonna go, where are we gonna go, orange? We're gonna go check the magic bat. With that hammer. Man, you remember when we got flippers and hookshot in the first two chests of escape or secret passage and uncle, and then we were speculating, or I was speculating when we're gonna go into swamp.
We still can't get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm wondering where this mirror is.
We still can't get
It
there.
is, yeah, it is still. It's not a magic bat.
All right, so we are down to 2 locations remaining in our game arsenal. Actually, 3.
Which three would that be, Rick?
We have Quakefish or Catfish. We have Helmazar.
right.
We have Agina.
I'm so sad about these prospects. Ooh.
Oh, orange just
orange
got
is
in the
yeah.
three.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that this is gonna be a blind check on Orange's side since we've already taken out Aga. Looks like
Well,
it.
he'll be up to 980 rupees real soon.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
we gotta get everything in pairs.
Agina is now what we're looking for. It's Catfish or on Helmazar King or the Green Pendant Turn-In, which is lumped together with Helmazar.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Yeah, Alright, so this might be, well, this is probably not a pot thing from Tam. Just because...
Both of these runners look like they're going Catfish.
Yeah, otherwise, because a Flute Spot 5 would be a lot more convenient, you know, for...
Oh, that's right! Yes! I just got reminded! Thieves Tome Big Chest!
Why do you...
Horrific! Thieves Tome Big Chest!
See, the benefit of not remembering anything that's prior than 5 seconds that have happened before is that you can't experience the trauma of being reminded at all of these terrible locations you have left behind.
I don't know, Clear Mouse. I'm under enough trauma as it is.
Oh my gosh,
I'm thinking right now, this seed is the kind of disgusting seed that I do not want to have myself, and Lazy Kid will give it to me at some point.
Yeah. The upside, quote unquote, is that this is casual boots. At least for the main tournament, you have standard boots, which surely that shield or the sword, can make things worse.
There we go.
Oh.
All right, game.
Okay, so we had to beat Aga, right, to go all the way to Hype Cave in order to get our first club, and then we had to take it to go all the way to Catfish in order to get our mitts. Thanks. Have you thought about maybe we could try and do like a spoiler like this is one of those scenes where you really kind of wish you knew where some of the things were. Besides,
Divergence again. Ether Medallion found in King's Tomb.
Alright, that is 2 medallions, potentially, out of the 3, so we are already looking pretty good at... yeah, we thought the scene was so nice 10 minutes in, when we got Tempered Sword, Ice Rod, what else we have? Hook Shot, all these great niceties, and then, 15 minutes later, what are we still searching for Go Mode? Fire Rod, Samaria, Mirror... it's a lot of stuff, Rick.
Yes, it is. But that's what A Link to the Past randomizer does to you.
Yeah.
Alright, what do we got inside of here in Super Bunny Cave? We have 100 rupees, and we have bombs, because why not?
Yeah. Slowly getting richer, and
Tam
more.
having a little bit of issue, having to go back out and check the block again.
We're gonna check, we're gonna look at Orange's side now, and look, because he's gonna give us some new checks at Hookshot Cave. Did Tam drop down, or did they come back down the stairs?
Tam misblocked.
Okay, gotcha.
Shuffle! That's
perfect, yeah. So suddenly we have 3 bottles already, super safe.
the most important item
shovel?
of the game if you check some of those ending text on those tournament seeds.
Oh yeah. All right, what is it? What is it going to be here today for Turtle Rock? If it's
It
Ether,
is
which
ether.
it is. So okay, at least we can't get in even on Tam's side because we have no mirror. We have not luckily magically found a mirror in Hookshot Cave. So, but at least we know that Orange does have to go to King's Tomb eventually.
Yes, indeed. Tam finishing up the checks here, and no saving quit. I'm assuming we're gonna check the medallion, and this would be Tam's best chance to get into King's Tomb, or not King's Tomb, into Spike Cave, but choosing not to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, no. Did Tam already got that?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
never
right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. I was also
mind.
reminded. Oh, okay.
Bombos.
All right.
We know
have
where all of
found-
our medallions are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not entirely clear what the ice palace situation is right now as well. You know, it is a pendant, certainly granted that, but no fire rod, and we do see bombos on Desert Ledge. That's
Ether
also
for both.
ether. Okay. So we don't actually know what the entry is going to be, what's going to be required, if there's going to be some sort of rule or fire going on here. Okay, blue mail's gonna.
Mirror.
Finally, we got a mirror. Oh. Well, that mirror would have been pretty nice on Death Mountain for what it's worth. At least for Tam. I don't know if Tam would have gone in though without the fire rod for Turtle Rock, but. Ooh, speaking of though, with that mirror, so now we have access to Pendant Ice Palace. We have access to Pendant Desert. Boy, these are real great options. I guess we can go to Crystal Swamp. That's probably something, huh?
You kept talking about it earlier about Swamp.
I did.
Something.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think Orange? Yeah, do you think Orange is actually gonna do, you know, full clear of Swamp? You know, given that left side Swamp had won him his race versus Gem earlier.
I think at this point you kind of have to consider it Tam ducking into Easter, or rather Desert Palace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Orange just checked Bumper, one of those checkerboard cave. Was not worth his time, but yes, as you have observed, did not dip into desert. We'll see how far Tam goes. You know, we got the big key on the torch, so which means the big chest here is at least pretty accessible. Will they go over to the right side, given that they've already done a key now?
All right, so the big thing right now for Orange is Orange needs the King's Tomb Aether Medallion. And Orange looks like he is heading for Swamp Palace.
Mm-hmm. No okay to Samaria, at least so far, assuming we don't find it before Argus, or at least from the back. Not going to be the end of the world, assuming Orange does know the bomb version of Diver Down, save us a little bit of extra time.
When you're talking about this high caliber runner, you should at this point know both of your Diver Down setups.
We have found 20 rupees. This seems to be a trend, by the way, in all of our dungeons.
Oh, nothing inside of Desert. Tam strikes, comes up empty.
Mm-hmm. All right, so presumably it's going to be a checkerboard cave out, and then we're going to go over to Swamp.
Well, here's the other thing. Tam, if they really wanted to, could dive into Mire, although this would be a rough play to make at this point with so many outstanding locations still where the Canis and Mario could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's definitely what Tam is thinking.
We are out of the Mire area. Yeah, so with the save and quit, presumably this is going to be a swamp venture, just like what Orange is. We've got a fully clearable crystal dungeon on our hands, or feet, whatever. And so we are definitely going to try and make some progress. You know, almost an hour into this, we only have 3 crystals to our name. But we have had a lot of checks.
And that's part of the game here.
That's part of the fun, exactly.
Being
That's part of the fun
efficient
of
with your
Target.
checks.
Yes.
K45 check coming up here first for Tam.
Oh, good reminder, actually. Yeah. Oh, you know, with the mirror, I think Tam's also going to be able to combine their shovel check as well, right? I don't think Tam
No,
had done
Tam
this.
already
It
did,
was...
I think.
Oh, okay. Was that okay? Maybe I just remembered it was only Orange, but I will definitely believe you. It is a vanilla heart piece, and looks like Orange is actually gonna go straight over to do left side first.
I mean, When you make a play that wins you the race against a stronger runner like Gem, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
maybe see if you can't strike the lightning twice. While
Yeah.
we know the ether's not going to be there,
Yeah, but there are plenty of items that could certainly be in left side swamp. You know, as we said, we've seen Fire Rod. We're still missing that. We're still missing Samaria for sure. I mean, you know, it could be even more, right? Like, you know, book on, you know, leading to tablet, leading to, you know, some other sort of progression, right? Et cetera, et
I
cetera.
thought that Staphos was going to knock Orange away from where he needed to be to get that clip.
But yeah, but as you also mentioned, runners of this caliber certainly know both their versions of Diver Down. Orange is already sailing past as fast as he possibly can over to left side.
Yes, indeed. All right, left side swamp. What is this going to give us?
Hopefully something good. I didn't unfortunately see what was on the map chest. What is here, Tam? Okay, it's a big key. Okay. I was gonna say it would be. Okay, never mind. We could have predicted that, Rick.
A red rupee and a red potion.
And a red potion. Okay. Alright, you know, suddenly we have all 4 bottles. That was actually very fast.
You don't feel great about going to left side swamp to come up with those 2.
True. I mean, but at least they're items, right?
Yeah, right.
You know,
they're two items, but you still don't feel good. Like you're hoping, okay, maybe I can catch something good here, just like I did against Gem. And in this case, it just didn't work out. And still a whole bunch of nothing inside of this swamp palace.
So far, yeah, we got a 3 bombs out of at least the effective map chest because of the big key there. What was here in Compass? I remember. Tam though, oh my gosh, Tam is skipping the left side.
Health refill there for Orange.
If I don't think Orange would necessarily needed the health refill. Certainly a much better position than he was in in Thiefstown. Tam, on the other hand, though, could use a little bit more of a health boost.
Well, 2 pieces of heart. Tam has a chance.
That's also true. You are absolutely correct. You have been counting heart pieces. Suddenly, we're feeling pretty confident we're going to go into Argus. Hopefully, we're going to get some 0 cycle action with our Tempered Sword.
Let's see how it goes. Orange setting up so far. Nope, loses it. Not going to get the 0 cycle there. Struggling with the controls at this point. You can tell that with a couple of the clinks there.
Yeah,
let's see
that one is
over here on the left. Tam so far good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gets bothered around. Not going to get the 0 cycle either.
Definitely a great attempt on both sides.
Yeah, both of these very super strong attempts. It was Compass and Compass Chest, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's also great. Perfect, nice and vanilla. Yeah, so we got our set of bombs on Argus, but man, so we have a clearable crystal dungeon, no progression inside. That seemed to actually be pretty on point with all of our other crystal dungeons that we've cleared, right?
Yeah.
As well as any of the other dungeons in general we've been to.
Orange is going to ice. And Tam's going back in.
Yeah. With 2 items on the left side, honestly, like, I think that would...
I mean, I can understand Tam doing it, but
Mm-hmm.
it is going to give a little bit of room here for Orange to get to where that ether is, although I think Orange has to get into a mode where he has to check those North Dark World checks, and there's only 2 of them.
I guess at least there is still Graveyard Ledge, right? I mean, it's not like King's Tomb is like super isolated, and you know,
he does have the out there, but I see him doing the Breadsmith chain first.
Yeah, with the mirror, and certainly a lot of things open up. I guess at least though, for what it's worth, it is. I was gonna say at least like King's Tomb though I mean it's a relatively fast check, right? You just save and quit and then run over there.
Fire rod, it's
Orange is out. Nice rule of fire. Where is Zelda?
Now Orange has an out. Orange has another out.
In Skull Woods, you mean?
An item in Skull Woods to lead him to the North Dark World if he wants to.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Pyramid
that's also
Theory
very
2
true.
to the
Yeah,
Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. That's huge.
Yeah, with the fire rod, yeah.
That's not or that's not immaterial at this point.
Yeah, so actually,
Inconsequential is what I mean to
right.
say.
Yeah, so what does Orange in this case need? So he still needs, in this case, Samaria. But of course, we also know that he's an Ether Medallion. So the hope in this case, especially for Orange, is that he's going to be able to find Samaria before he finds Ether. I mean, finding Ether, right, certainly would not be the end of the world for him because he's still locked out of Turtle Rock, but, it's not really a great feeling if you're going to try and dive into, let's say, Mire, right, looking for that key.
Let's see what Tam ends up doing after they leave this Swamp Palace. Do they go to Ice Palace or do they start to do the Breadsmith chain? I know there's people speculating that Orange should have done the Breadsmith chain first. I think Orange is feeling good about pulling that fire rod.
Oh yeah. Given how stingy this entire seed has been, right? I mean, think about like how much things that we've had to go through just in order to get one progression item, And finding that fire rod in Ice Palace, I think was actually quite good. Pendant ice, no less.
So this Casual Boots Invitational, Big Dunk could put it in chat. There's going to be Vortex of Doom versus Tito, and then possibly the Lane versus CS Tudor at 3 p.m. Beautiful kill of Mafia there.
Very strong Orange. 8 out of 10 there.
And the second item is going to be in the bridge chest.
Yeah. Orange has already got his mirror out, so very much prepared. Unfortunately, no bush.
Tam's in ice. This is huge.
Yeah, so this is going to be quite good. As we've kind of seen Orange immediately beeline it for
does
Skull
Tam
Woods.
stay in?
It's a great question. It's a great question because if Samaria is here, I think that would certainly very much swing the race if Tam stays.
Yeah, if and you see the same setup here for Tam that Orange did. There's the fire rod, and Tam's continuing.
We found the last item in Skull Woods. It is a heart container, so actually very similar to most of our other any dungeons for that matter. Some amount of health and money. But as you also did mention, this does open up Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah,
which
that's
of course
where Orange is going. And this would give Orange the opportunity to get King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge after he's done with Pyramid Fairy. That's your last out to get those 2 North Dark World checks in.
Yeah, and this is actually much more convenient, just in terms of routing efficiency, right? You don't want to run out of Skull Woods, right? Nobody ever likes doing that. Plus, again, you've got Pyramid Fairy, 2 more checks, and just basically running up, right, going over Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, he'll be quite happy.
Yes, indeed.
And of course, with 1,100 rupees, I think we can afford to splurge a little. We can maybe even get a Mega Bomb.
And you can tell that Tam has zero interest on doing this to do the pedestal plate or to kill Gold Stair, based on the fact that the switch was left down in the Ice Palace bomb jump room.
Yeah, certainly. It's certainly very, very reasonable on Tam's side.
And of course, because we killed Aga earlier, the portal is easier for Orange to get through. All right, what do we got over here on Pyramid Fairy?
As Tam makes their way over to Ice Tea, arguably one of the least checked locations in Ice Palace. But let's see, what do we have Pyramid Fairy? We have a piece of heart and 3 bombs.
Yep, nothing there. And there's a small key. And we're keeping a track of those small keys at this point because they will be important here if we find both of those Ice Palace smalls before Cold Stair.
Actually, yeah, really good point. Yeah. Because it could actually be Samaria locked in this case. In which case, if that's what Tam's searching for, which is the last item that they need.
There's both keys.
All right. So which means that Samaria can't be here, right? Or can't be at least on the boss.
It cannot be on the boss, yes.
Yeah.
Compass chest in the Ice Palace big chest, or the big key chest. Key? Here comes Ether for Orange.
They can be on the boss with both?
Yes, the Canis Samaria can be on the boss. at this point because we've already got both keys. The only way the
Oh, no, sorry, you're right, you're right. I have my
yeah,
my logic backwards in my head. That's
yeah,
correct.
the key on the boss obviously means that
Yes,
the
yeah, it
Candace
would be
Mario can't be
Samaria.
there
Correct. Yeah,
on the
yeah.
boss or on pedestal for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Graveyard ledge here for orange. Red male. Red, but not the red we're
Magenta,
looking for.
yeah, magenta male, no problems. Yeah, but that is Ether Medallion for Orange. No King of Samaria, so we're kind of faced in this case with a very similar predicament on Orange's side. But given how much Orange has skipped, he may or may not feel a bit more uneasy about some of his locations.
Big key
Right.
and iced tea, and orange is going to be doing the breadsmith chain here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks like it. So, how many items have we found in Ice so far? Is it only one? It feels like we've been in Ice Palace for forever on Tam's side.
I think that is just one so far. So big chest and cold stare have items. Oh my, the book!
That's a great word, Brick. Oh my gosh. Well, the Hopium train continues on Tam's side. Amazing.
And that's
Amazing.
red, but
All
not
right.
the red we're looking for.
Another
For
20
orange.
rupees. That's effectively like another, mini dungeon. Given that we found 20 rupees everywhere we've gone, Pod, Skull Woods, Eastern, whatever. Alright, looks like though, yeah, this is gonna be very efficient for Tam. We are going to beat Skull Woods. They're gonna go get their heart container after defeating Mothula. And then we are going to be able to get a very important piece of knowledge on Tam's side that Orange was not able to obtain.
Mm-hmm. And orange still needs to check K45, so it's going to be taking the long way around with
good
this
point.
purple
Good
chest.
reminder. Yeah. Orange does have the hook shot out, so yeah, it looks like they're gonna try and do a little bit of speed boosting. Maybe we can hook onto some things, but none of those damage taken, etc., damage boosts in order to run us over with the purple chest.
So orange checking this, we'll see that it's nothing of significance as Tam will be finishing up here in Skull Woods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The tension, the anticipation, Rick. I am so eager to see what is Tam going to find out. Also, what is here on this purple chest? Because if Samari here is on this purple chest, man, that that is a gigantic, great feeling for Orange.
It's red, but not the red we are looking
all
for.
All of this red is just all. That's like dungeon number 20 that we just defeated on Orange's side.
And I think Orange is going to go into desert, find out the two things on the right-hand side, not what we need. Has the ether out, so we could be checking Meyer first. Oh my!
That's exactly what I was thinking. Actually, maybe why not go to the dungeon that you think might have the item? Nice hook, by the way, on Tam's side.
Yeah, I loved how that was just sticking out there against the spike. All right, going back in, we're gonna get that second item here in Skull, get that heart container, and then we're gonna mirror and see if it is. I create blocks that weigh down switches. Tam has an advantage in this race all of a sudden.
And it's not even from the tablets, it is just from the actual pedestal knowledge. Of course, that still means that Orange can still, blind pull the pedestal, for example, right? If Samara is here, but it's going to be much more difficult for Orange to go do that.
It's going to be a lot harder for Orange to do this without a book.
Oh yeah. What is it going to be?
A better copy of the sword at this time, we're not getting butter.
I'm sorry. I guess we're going to be some health conscious today. Where are we going on Tam's side?
Tam has not done... Oh, Ether.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're gonna chase the book, yeah. Going to Bombo's tablet is pretty terrible, but, well, not that Ether is that much faster, but Tam is definitely gonna try and push that advantage. Holy frick, dude. Oh my gosh. Alright, right, 1 hour, 10 minutes, 40 some seconds. Orange is in go mode. Finding the Kata Samaria, one chest over, basically, maybe two, from its vanilla location. Amazing.
Tam needs to get to Meyer now. But we're going to go do Pyramid Fairy first.
Very. I mean, this is very reasonable, right? We kind of saw Orange do this too. You know, you have 5-6 crystals open, and
Tam's making the right. Tam, in their mind, is making the right moves to make. Just at this point, you and I, as well as the 30+ people watching here on ALTTPR ladder, know Tam is drawing dead. Oh, Bombo's tablet too.
Stupid Bombos tablet. Well, you know, while the time differential here looks actually to be pretty, certainly being widened, I don't know, maybe Tam could find something else nicer, you know, like silvers, for example. We haven't actually seen the second bow since we found the initial one in Lost Woods, you know, at 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah, but even at this point, I don't think we can even...
Oh, yeah. Silvers are not going to help out.
Silvers
I mean,
is not going to equalize this race at this point. Orange stands pretty solid to go 2-0 with a chance to go undefeated against P-Train tomorrow night if this result still stands.
These seeds have been wild. This seed, though, has also, I think, been pretty trying for both Tam and Orange. I mean, just think about like the sequences that, you know, we had to go through, right, in order to get our regular Dark World access. We had to go, first off, go to defeat Aga. We had to go get our first club out of Hype Cave without the hammer. We had to go all the way to Death Mountain to go get our hammer after clubs and flute. And then we had to go to Catfish for our mitts.
And the biggest thing there is the fact that you had to go into Meyer without the Kata Samaria. You had to go to Catfish, which it kind of was like an out-of-the-way play at that point. Oh, Tam ends up pulling back the bomb.
Everything's fine, Tam. Don't worry about it. I mean, any seed that you have to go visit Catfish in is just not going to be a seed that you're going to enjoy, you know.
Both of these runners ended up going into the Palace of Darkness, got nothing inside of it. And, you know, you probably are starting to think, oh no, if my opponent did not go into the Palace of Darkness, I'm feeling really bad about where I'm standing inside of this race at this. And it's totally understandable for both of these runners.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, you know, a Palace of Darkness dip is not, you know, unreasonable. I can certainly see that, you know, from both sides.
When we say these things that didn't work out for these runners, it's unfortunate, it's unlucky. They made the right play. It's just the luck didn't place an item inside of those dungeons. Yeah,
this is what the randomization does.
I think the biggest play here for Orange, and the reason why Orange right now stands in the lead, of course he went into Meyer, but he noped at that fire rod.
Yeah, that was certainly right. So Orange actually, this entire seat, kind of unlike the first game that he played versus Jam at 4 a.m. on Sunday morning, he was quite thorough in that seat versus this one. He has been actually very aggressive. He hasn't necessarily made any skips per se, but early Aga seed or early Aga play with basically a crystal, available crystal Eastern and Saha on the table, right? Immediately went over there, and as you said. He took the first chest in Ice Palace and immediately left. Tam stayed. We saw how long Ice Palace took without the Kina Samari and Icebreaker, and then of course also Tam found a book, right, which of course led to very out of the way locations, right? It just kept trickling time basically after that.
I mean, Tam's checking of Bombos was his last out until he does the Breadsmith, or their last out until they do the Breadsmith chain.
Yeah, but at least,
but understandable checks. Like, that's the big thing about these plays that these runners are making. Tam, they made plays that made sense at the time, just unlucky that they turned out to be something. Orange, he made plays that were just unfortunate that they didn't turn out to pay out. And Orange made just a couple of moves that Tam did not, and that's why Orange right now is sitting probably 3-ish minutes ahead as Tam, they get their go mode, Canis and Mario right there.
Yeah, you're never happy when you see semi-vanilla item in their dungeon.
Also, Tam dug Desert. Just a few things. Diving deeper into Ice Palace, diving Desert. Just if the Canis and Maria was deeper inside of Ice Palace, if the Canis and Maria was attached to that book, Tam wins this race.
Oh
Easy.
yeah, and yeah, because when is Orange gonna go back to Ice Palace, right? You know, especially without the Canis and Maria, which is what they're looking for, right? That would be a very, very late time in their seed progression.
And this is the kind of race where you just chalk it up to Rando being Rando. Tam's not out of this.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, this is Tam and this is Tam's first race, and this is Orange's going to be second race. But with a 2-0 record, that Orange is looking like he is going to have one more, as you said, for tomorrow night facing P-Train. It's going to be certainly looking very, very strong for Orange in order to advance on the groups or into the next set of groups.
So
now, of course,
I
but Tam is still very much into this.
I should point this out though. What is the criteria for advancing here in these groups? Is it just the winner moving on?
So the top 2 move on from groups of 4 to 2. So just by sheer winning record, if you have the most number of wins out of all your group mates, then you certainly do move on. If there is a tie, then it is going to be the time differential between all of the races that you lost in this case. So all the more important, by the way, for Tam to not forfeit. Because if you forfeit, it is effectively 1 hour's worth of time differential. So you really want to try and keep things as close as you can.
Which in that case, it's even more important because of the fact that Orange is sitting with an hour's advantage already because Gem forfeited after Orange won that race.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, and certainly if, I guess if everybody kind of goes 2 and 1, for the remainder, yeah, those Orange is sitting very, very happily.
Like Orange at this point in time has pretty much almost assuredly posted his ticket, punched the ticket into the next round, but not 100% guaranteed at this point.
Yeah, we still need to beat Ganon.
Okay. Talathar's correcting me. It's the time differential comes into how much you lose by, not how much you win by.
Oh, right, yeah. So if you have the most wins out of all of your group mates, right, then you are for sure advancing. But if you are on a tie with somebody else, then it is the amount of time that
you lose by. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I misunderstood what you were saying in regards to that. I thought it was overall just time differential, period. Like your wins matter, your win timing differential matters, your losing time differential matters, and that gets combined. But it makes sense. So Tam right now is a full Turtle Rock behind Orange. Now, this race isn't done and over with. Orange needs to get through Ganon's Tower, has to fight their nerves. Both of these runners should be able to control their nerves as they go up to Ganon's Tower, but
I mean, I feel like sometimes your race nerves still kind of, sometimes they kind of catch up with you, right? Regardless of how much you played. Yeah.
They do happen, yes. Now, the biggest thing here is you dug Palace of Darkness and it came up empty. You don't know your opponent did the same thing, so that's the kind of nerves that you're fighting off at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I know, again, right? We've talked kind of like this a little bit earlier. We don't actually know how great you ever do feel like during a race. Orange certainly has made some very good decisions, though, as you said, have been paid off quite well for him, right? Early aggressive Aga play, which turns out to be correct, right? Certainly has a good morale boost from that. Noped out of Ice Palace after the first chest. Did not have to do, minutes worth of that dungeon that led to then led to even more time after the dungeon. So certainly, and of course, Orange went into Mire and found the Canis Mario there, right? That made a lot of really good calls.
Is this a true hope?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
We got a small key though, which means we can keep going.
Yep. Orange makes his way through this Ganon's Tower. We know we had some people putting down guesses for where they believe this big he's going to be. I'm gonna say it's in Randall Room.
I'm hoping it's the Stalfos room. I guess I just like that room.
I mean, I can understand why. No, it's
Oh,
there. It's
but
in
yeah,
Pippa's
but it's
room.
in your
There we
Pippa's
go.
room, yeah. So maybe there is. Oh, oh my god. Oh my gosh. Well, Orange is gonna be all set, for the rest of this fight or the rest of this game. Not that he wasn't originally without those silvers, but I mean, this is just it's gonna be super comfortable at the end of the
It
game.
makes it more free at this
Mhm.
point.
Yeah, Orange is gonna climb Tempered Sword, 15 hearts, Red Mail, Half Magic, Silver Arrows, Tempered Sword, 4 potions. Or no, I'm sorry, maybe what? 2 greens, 1 red, and a B or something like that. I think Orange is gonna
Yeah,
be okay.
we're stacked. Clear Mouse, we're stacked for this.
Oh yeah, and almost 1,100 rupees. I mean.
And another thing to note here in regards to Tam, this is their second race today.
Oh, that's true. Tam is, as you mentioned, second seed in the main tournament, and I do believe they raced Drakey, right? Something like that?
They placed, they raced Drakey 4 hours prior to this start, so that definitely shows you the ability of Tam.
Given that Tam also is in Australia, honestly, I don't know when Tam sleeps. But Tam always seems to find the energy to be able to play Rando at seemingly any hour of the day or night.
Does an Aussie really sleep?
That's also true. I guess we don't know. So last season of League, whether Tam was an honorary German or Magno and Broger were honorary Australians, I'm not really sure, but somehow, they were also able to do co-ops together, which still boggles my mind as to how, you people and
I'm just
how
glad
the time zones work, man.
I'm just glad that Tam was able to do a 10 a.m. Saturday morning race for the league.
Oh my gosh, 10 a.m. That's what I don't even know what time that is in Australia. By the way, so actually, where's Orange, by the way? Is he on the West Coast?
He's Eastern time.
He's Eastern time and he raced Gem at 4 a.m.
Nocturnal.
Oh my god. Okay, time zones clearly do not matter to anybody in this community. This is okay. You're right. It's like 9:30 here. But apparently to Tam and Orange, I mean, it's like it's like a hyperbolic time chamber. Time just passes slower for them, and then in their whatever world it is.
Alright. Orange making the way up to the 6th floor. We really don't have much else to talk about at this point. This race came down to who decided at what point they were going to go into Misery Mire without the Candace and Mario. That's pretty much what this race came down to.
Yeah, and then deciding to whether or not they want to stay in Ice Palace, right? Everything else, was very, very minor things here and there. The getting to traditional Dark World access was quite the trek. Not always the easy decisions, and I think, at multiple points, you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, right, we were like, there are only 3 more locations. Where the heck could this possibly be, And they've just kind of checked, everything there was before kind of going into their,
and then they finally got their progression.
Yeah.
This race was neck and neck where the routes converged after a while.
Yeah, actually, after they got the flute, right? Tam activated the flute, bought some bombs, and then versus Orange fluting out of Sahaswa, that was like, 15 seconds apart, something like that? Yeah, it was quite close. Yep,
and then Orange ended up giving Tam a little bit of time thanks to the Tower of Hera. Alright, Aga 2. 2 strikes right there, 2 out of 6. Probably a double here. Nope, 0.
Orange is preserving his sword beans for Ganon. Or the rest of Aga, that's also fine too.
I mean, you got silver, so the magic isn't as consequential. Alright, 5.
Does the block cause extra lag? I'm kind of noticing there's maybe more of a slowdown.
It did. Okay. Also, Tam's doing this route here, which is unfortunate, but...
No, we're gonna get a little bit of extra content
Mirror
here.
Shield, there we go.
Like Mirror Shield. How could Tam live without Mirror Shield?
And another 20.
Okay, you're right. You're right. So okay, so we've just completed our 30th dungeon on Stalfos room in GT because we picked up another 20 rupees. Onto our 32nd dungeon. We have 4 small keys apparently.
All right, Orange dropping into the Ganon fight. An hour 26 in. You think you're feeling rough at an hour 26 in a casual boost because of just how fast this mode can be. But this seed had a couple of really bad choke points.
Yeah, I mean, we also have to do Aga, right? You know, a hard required in this case.
And that was one of the choke points.
Yeah.
It was Aga required, and then the catfish mitts.
Yeah, great seed.
Yeah, oh, and Tana mirrors out without getting the silvers.
Silvers, I think. Oh my gosh! All right, so there's another reason why you want to do Hope Room first. You know, so Orange was looking for a small key, right? Because if they found a small key, they didn't have to go. You know, it warped to the whatever conveyor, cross pits, key pot in order, whatever, to go get the small key. But Tam, having 3 already from Stalfos room, did not need any extra chests.
And Tam also knew that they were not getting the sword.
True. Right, Tam does have that knowledge.
Good start here for Orange. Gets a double there. Sets up for another double. Orange is going to win this and go to 2-0 here in this group.
Very strong performance by Orange in this group. I mean, this is a ridiculously tough group too. We got Orange, Tam, P-Train, and Gem. And Orange has an amazing 2-0 record after this victory over Tam. Definitely GG's. Speaking of, it looks like we are joined by today's victor, Orange. Welcome. Congratulations.
GG.
Orange.
Yes?
How did it feel as you're going up against the most vicious enemy of the game? No, I'm not talking about Ganon. No, I'm not talking about that Dead Rock. The bumper on 5F Tower of Hera.
Tilton.
Yeah.
The Laney Tower of Hera.
You had a very valiant record though for your Aga Hall of Fame with the hook speed though.
I'm going to assume that play to go to Aga when you did before checking Eastern or Sahasrara was just more you seeing the writing on the wall based on the items that you already had.
It was kind of that, and since I kind of figured this was going to be an Aga seed, I may as well get it out of the way early and hope that I can pull a mirror so that I can do a Pod Eastern play. But Pod ended up being dependent, and I was like, okay, I'm going there now.
And so what did you feel when you went into Pod and it came up as empty as it did?
Okay. How about Village of Outcasts? Surely the Aga play was justified, right? Right? I was really hoping that the Aga play was justified because that was a huge call.
It definitely was, and there was a lot of people talking about it here in chat, but as Tam went through Eastern, as Tam went through Sahasrara, the writing on the wall became more apparent that you were making the right play there. And as such, it turned out to be, as it was an Aga required seed to get your Dark World access. Now, were you nervous at all during that lovely little run through Thieves Town, especially when you were getting back attacked by that Zazax?
Yes. Like, I'm not gonna deny it. Yes. Just doing the entire second half on Oko mode, especially when you don't have a glove to get past the Baris. Well, bypass the Baris, I should say. Not a good time.
You want to shout out that nice use of the or rather the hook shot there from Tam to get past the Moldorm too. So a couple of things wound up happening in this seed. I don't know how much you and Tam had a chance to talk while you're waiting out the delay, but Tam dug Desert, came up empty, went further into Ice. Now, what made you leave Ice Palace with that fire?
So Fire Rock gave me access to Pyramid Fairy and an opportunity to clean up some of the Dark Overworld because Swamp came up empty, but I felt that there was like one more piece of progression that was mirror locked. Ether wasn't one of them because that was actually pits locked and not mirror locked. So I figured I would keep going, knock out the Smith chain with what I really wanted, that being K45, and that if that was still empty, then I was gonna go Mire first, and if I don't find anything in there, dive desert.
And then you came
But
up huge with the Canis and Mario Rider on the spike chest. And at that point, we knew that you had this race won.
I kind of figured Tam might make the same play because against a runner of his caliber, I needed to play a lot more aggressive than I normally do.
And Clearmouse was noting that it did seem like you were playing more aggressive here in this race than you did against Jem.
Um, so I know how powerful of opponent Jem is, but I've never actually raced him before until last night.
Wait,
Tam,
really?
really?
Wow.
Tam, I have raced before, and I know firsthand just how good of a runner he is. So I knew I was going to have to, like, be aggressive to the point that chat would question whether or not I'm actually clown routing. And, well, some of it was.
Well, in the end, you did make the right moves. You should see how terribly close it was when you both were going up to the mountain after getting that flute and activating it, because that's when the original routes converged together, was when you both were activating the flute and heading up to the mountain. And you had a very narrow lead, like just seconds. Obviously, Tam took a little bit of a lead with your bumper issues on 5F Hera, but you made the plays a little bit faster than Tam needed to in this seed, and a lot of it was Rando being Rando. Also, Tam noping out of the compass room after getting the big key and missing out on the silvers, which is going to help pad this time differential out.
Yeah, I kept opening chests looking for a small key.
Yeah, versus Tam went to Stalfo's room and found like 3 small keys. So, you know, when they found the big key, they, you know, on the very first check, right, in Compass room,
Yep.
and they were out.
And that's going to do it there for Tam. Finishes off with the Ganon fight and is about to cross the bridge. And this will be a just about under a 6-minute defeat here for Tam as far as the time differential is concerned.
Yeah, we are also joined by Tam. GG's.
Hey, GG.
Very interesting MSU, Tam. Did not expect all sliders from you. Although I think you did make a hint as to what it was going to be in the race room.
Is there something wrong with it?
Oh, no. I just was not expecting it. I was just it was very upbeat and happy as we were going through Escape, and then Rick had mentioned, like, I think this is going to be an all sliders MSU. I was like, wait, really? It's going to be all of this? That's pretty cool.
My complaint wasn't the sliders, it was the double beep.
Not true. It was-
Anyways, GG's on the run. Your thoughts overall?
Yeah, just kind of not a seat where I kind of played it not great. Felt like I was really overclearing the whole time. And then I was pretty sure I should have gone to Maya sooner. I wasn't putting it off like because I thought it was bad. It just I kept having other things that I felt like I should do, but it happens.
And the decisions made sense. Obviously, if you dove Misery Mire when you wound up doing Desert and Mire at that stage, the Mire region, the Mire Shed, this could have been a whole different story. My main question to you is going to be, what made you decide to continue going through Ice Palace after getting that Fire Rod?
Fire Rod gave me a surprisingly small number of checks. It was like I kind of really messed up in Ice Palace, because if I wasn't gonna leave, I should have like hit the switch and did IPBJ and finished it. But like the kind of half and half where I didn't hit the switch, but I also stayed in ice was like kind of dumb. In my mind, it was not really the case that that it was super likely that I would go do fire road stuff and find the cane, which is kind of what happened. But cane wasn't behind the fire road, so I didn't have enough to do that I felt that leaving was the right thing to do, especially because I didn't know about pet or anything.
Right, and obviously you have the ability to check pet after you left Ice Palace, found out that it was our fourth sword, but that was part of what created the difference. And then unfortunately you noping out of the compass room without checking the 3 other chests.
Yeah, I mean, once the book was useless, I was like, the only way that I win that race is if Orange also stayed in Ice Palace and like finished Ice Palace. So I was like, you know, it's not a surprise to lose this one after that.
Right. You both ended up doing the Palace of Darkness after doing Aga. The plays that both of you made sense. So it's not like one made a move that was like, why are they making this move? They all made sense.
I mean, it's rando sometimes.
It's Rando. And that's pretty much the theme of this story. Rando decided it was going to put the mitts behind the glove at Catfish, and it was going to put the Cane of Samaria in the dungeon you needed the Cane of Samaria to beat.
I mean, once you see those mitts, it's just kind of like, it's really hard to imagine anyone not being late to those mitts. I actually felt quite good about the pod dip because it meant that I didn't come back later and beat pod, because I would have done that before Catfish if I hadn't been.
Yeah, that makes sense. At the time that both of you got the mitts, we were down to Helmassar / Green Pendant or that nasty 4th check in Thieves Town in the big chest. Or Catfish, and of course Catfish had the answer.
Yeah, there was a lot of times during that seed where I was really contemplating going back to Thieves, just because of things never working out that well. So kind of happy I didn't have to, but it's not like it helped either way.
Were either of you too worried about Agina? Out of curiosity.
I almost didn't go to Agina because I was like, if I go to Agina and I find something useful, I'm just gonna feel bad.
Fair. That's also very true.
Yep. I can definitely understand that mentality too.
All my worries about Agina disappeared as soon as I pulled the mitts from Catfish.
Because you were worried that was a glove there?
Yep.
Chat was clamoring for that glove on Agina. So Orange, your third of this group, coming up here against P-Train tomorrow. Your thoughts?
Coming as the bottom seed overall of this whole thing, I'm gonna be worried about every single one of my opponents because I'm going to be the underdog in every single one of them. It'll be a good race.
And I do believe that this was your first one here in this session. Is that correct, Tam?
That's correct.
So you still got Gem and P-Train coming up here next. What are your thoughts going into those 2 matches?
Yeah, honestly, this is looking pretty doomed. Gem did me a favor by losing to the other 2 members of the group, so now I'm probably gonna lose to him and be out, but oh well.
You don't have to count your gems before they hatch.
No,
that
it's
type of thing.
no, it's fun to race Gem. He's obviously really good, and P-Train as well. I wouldn't really like. I don't have super high hopes about easily winning either of those races. So
I mean, everyone in the 16 who made it here into the Invitational have shown that they do belong here in the Invitational. So GG's to everyone here involved, and good luck to you both in your upcoming races.
Thanks. Thanks for putting
Thank
on
you.
the restream as well.
This was very fun to watch. It may not felt very fun to play, but it was a very fun to watch. So thank you.
And with that being said, we do want to give a big thank you to Big Dunka for getting this on the air and to Clear Mouse for saying, "Hey, Rick, what are you doing on a Monday night?"
Yo, Rick, how was your Monday night?
That was pretty phenomenal. I got to watch a
Yeah.
pretty solid race between two people that I respect in the community and do
Oh, heck
commentary
yeah.
with you. So it's a perfect
Oh,
night all around.
oh, very big same. I had a very great time, had a blast, and thank you so much again, Tam and Orange, for racing. You two both seem to be very flexible, by the way. I think so. I think we've heard like a lot of other people say scheduling is by far one of like the most difficult parts of any tournament, and I think you guys, in general, this group has been, I think, very flexible. So big thanks for you as well to basically be, very accommodating for other people. But
We
definitely, yeah, yeah.
we do our best.
Yeah, definitely best of luck, to both of you in your upcoming races. Orange, you versus Petrian, and I guess for Tam, it'll be versus Gem and Petrian as well. So but I'm looking forward to those matches. So best of luck into whoever does be able to advance into the next round.
And of course, best of luck to you both in the main tournament as well.
Right, right. There is that other tournament going on. That's like where like Sahabat rules, and we
Who?
try not to talk about. Yeah, exactly. Try not to talk about him as often here. But yeah.
All right. In that case, let's go ahead and once again thank Big Dunka for putting this on. And
Thank you, Dunka.
more races coming up here tomorrow. I believe Big Dunka was saying 12 noon and also tentatively for 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon as well. So come on back, join Big Dunka for those races, and of course, have fun with the ladder all this season 18.
Yeah, have a great night.